journey back to the top continues for Heart of Midlothian here in the baking evening heat in the Mediterranean. With temperatures unlikely to dip below 30 degrees, Robbie Neilson will be determined not to add to recent concerning results from fellow Scottish sides away from home in Europe. In fairness, Hearts have taken no part in that as yet, following a convincing 4-2 victory in Tallinn last week to see off Estonian outfit FC Infonet 6-3 on aggregate. But, as always, as the rounds progress, so too does the standard of the opposition. And here, ironically, at the Hibernian Stadium in Malta, they come up against a club that regularly compete at these stages. This is, in fact, the 20th consecutive season that Birkirkara have played in European competitions, something that the supporters here are extremely proud of. It is a home away from home for the Stripes, as they are more commonly known. With their own ground, the Takali Stadium, under redevelopment, they are merely lodgers at the home of Hibernians FC, something perhaps that both sets of supporters can unite in. Well, Michael Stewart is here with me as the teams start to emerge. Michael, what are you looking to see from the Hearts team tonight?
Well, obviously a game away from home in the first leg. You want to make sure that you're still in with a fighting chance when you get back to Tynecastle or progressing through the tie. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't. Having spoken to Robbie Neilson earlier in the week, he was adamant this is a tie that they can come and win. A defensive outfit, Birkirkara, difficult to try and break down, and he spoke a lot about trying to get wide and get in behind and penetrate in the wide area. So that's something that we're looking for from the Hearts side in this game.
And it's a fairly unique entrance to the Hibernian Stadium. It's the Hearts supporters who have made the journey to Malta, enjoying themselves. They had a great reception from the supporters at their home back in the centre of the island in the town of Birkirkara last night, as they prepare for round 2 of the qualification process that they will hope to get all the way to the 4th stage of, and thereafter entry to the group stages of the Europa League, something that the Hearts players themselves have been talking about. Arnaud Joume in particular, who starts tonight, to get to the group stages of the Europa League. Ivalo Stoyanov of Bulgaria is the man in the middle. We take a look at the two teams. Predrag Jovic doesn't quite make the game for the hosts due to an injury, and therefore Guillaume comes in, the 19-year-old, for his first start. Garis Skiberas captains the side, likely to line up in a strict 4-1-4-1 formation. Slovenian striker Vito Plut leads the line for Birkirkara. Robbie Neilson elects to go with the same starting 11 that won in Tallinn. Igor Rossi came up with 2 goals in that game, with Jamie Walker making a telling contribution with 3 assists from set plays. New signings, Faisal Reras and Connor Salmon, both start. Well, Michael, we'll expect a similar setup to possibly what we saw in Estonia. How do you expect the team to shape up?
Well, you're right. I think quite clearly they're going to have a back 4 in place. We saw the guys warming up earlier on of Liam Smith, Ozturk, Rossi and Reras. It's going to be interesting to see where Callum Patterson lines up, whether he's going to be further up the park. We all know that is one of the strengths of his game. Whether he's going to play high up in support with Salmon from the right-hand side and Walker on the left. As I spoke about earlier, the wide areas are going to be very important because Birkirkara are tight through the middle. There's a lot of bodies there. So Callum Patterson's going to have a big part to play, as is Jamie Walker on the other side. But I think Hearts, as I said before as well, they should have enough to be able to keep themselves competitive and get the game back to Tynecastle and hopefully progress through this tie.
Alim Ozturk there, the captain of Hearts, and he played 90 minutes in both the games against Infernet and scored away from home in Estonia. It was set plays really a week ago that were the key for Hearts, and Jamie Walker is going to play a big role here. And it's a great atmosphere inside the ground. Only around about 4,000 supporters can make it here in Paola, which is just across the bay from the capital of Malta, Valletta. The Tecali Stadium is the national stadium in Malta, but it's under redevelopment. Most of the teams, in fact, in the league play there. So a bit of mixing it up for their league at the moment. This is Liam Smith, just 20 years old. Buaben. And it will be interesting. So much has been made of the heat in Malta, plus 30 degrees, that Hearts certainly don't want to use up too much energy in these early stages.
No, and you can see here that Birkirkara are quite happy to allow Hearts possession at the back, and that's something that, without letting the game become too sterile and flat, Hearts are going to, look to do that and keep possession as much as possible. It's a real difficult heat to play in when even with the sun dropping, it's difficult because the humidity's so high. And it'll be interesting to see whether the referee allows water breaks throughout the game as well, because it's not a temperature that we're accustomed to back home in Scotland, and I'm sure a lot of the lads as well, they'll find it difficult to play in a heat like this.
Buaben's ball over the top, unable to find a teammate. Here he is once more. Walker unable to get onto the loose ball, and this is Kane Attard, 21-year-old Maltese international. He'll be hoping to face up against Scotland when side come to Malta to start their World Cup qualifying campaign in September. Kitchen got a good toe in there. He was away at the Copa America with the United States. Didn't get any game time, but here goes Jamie Walker. Walker waits for the overlap from Reras, and that's nicely worked. And here is Faisal Reras. Now Buaben trying to bulldoze his way through, and Connor Salmon. Well, it will not count. The flag is up on the far side. But Hearts showing their intention early on. Connor Salmon just flagged. That must have been tight, Michael.
Yeah, it looked very, very tight, but a great bit of play from Hearts. And as I spoke about at the start of the game, in the wide areas is going to be where they can hurt this Birkirkara team. Jamie Walker here with the overlap from Rieras, a lovely little inside pass. The deflection comes to the edge of the box, and Buaben gets onto the second ball. I think, that's very difficult to tell from that replay. Perhaps slightly offside, but it's a tough call. You expect that the attacking side get given the benefit of the doubt there, and that's a difficult one, and that's unlucky for Hearts to not go one up. But as I said, great play in the wide areas, and a nice bit of link-up play from Walker and Rieras on the left-hand side here.
Good to see that Connor Salmon has his sights zeroed. He didn't know the flag was up, and that will be a confidence booster for the new signing. He was released by Derby County at the end of last season. Fans in Scotland will remember his time at Kilmarnock before he moved off to Wigan Athletic in 2011. And he starts for the third time in a row. Interesting that Robbie Nielsen sees him as the starting striker ahead of Juanma.
Well, they're both big physical players who are going to act as a focal point for the attack. But the big difference between Salmon and Juanma is Salmon is a lot more mobile. He's got pace. He can run in behind. Juanma's very one-paced. He's not very athletic. Perhaps slightly better technical and player than Salmon, but he doesn't have that athleticism that Salmon has, and that's something that quite clearly Hearts have got a lot of in their side. There's a lot of athletic players, and it's maybe something that he was looking for in a number 9 type striker in the summer. And Connor Salmon certainly fits that bill.
We didn't get a chance to see the bench for Hearts before kick-off, and it is a very attacking bench, including Juanma, as we've just been talking about, but also Sam Nicholson, Dario Zanata and Robbie Muirhead, who arrived from Dundee United. Also Don Cowie, John Suter, who will provide the defensive cover, and Victor Noring, the Swedish goalkeeper who arrived from Lyngby in Denmark. Robbie Nielsen led Hearts to a 3rd place finish in their first season back in the Scottish Premiership last season. And I guess from there they've already obviously advanced massively. But do you therefore think to consolidate that position, it's going to be a very different Scottish Premiership this season with Rangers back? Do Hearts look to consolidate or look to build on what they had last season?
I don't think you ever look to consolidate in football. If you do that, you're effectively moving backwards. You've always got to look to progress. And knowing the people that are involved at Hearts, the characters that are there, they're never going to settle for a consolidation. They're going to look to progress things forward. You look at the support of the club as well. I think everybody wants to see the strong foundations that have been put in place are utilised and built upon.
Budalovic with the ball all the way up here, upfield to Skitsluna. There's Faisal Veras, the Moroccan, born in Liège in Belgium.
He's an interesting one for me. There was a lot made about Oshiniwa coming in last year as a big marquee type sign, World Cup player with Nigeria, but he really didn't cut the mustard. It was a player who put a lot of nervousness into the side. He was a poor defender, and it turned out he wasn't a particularly great attacking fullback either. But the little bits I have seen of Veras this season so far, and the things that I've heard, people talking about, he looks like he could be a good signing. Very athletic there as well, like I was talking about with Connor Salmon. You saw him getting back in recovery there, and he could be a real plus for Hearts. As is this guy at right back. He's Liam Smith, somebody that I've been impressed with last season, the limited appearances he had.
And he has really started this game. He seems to be Robbie Nielsen's first choice right back right now, which has forced Callum Patterson forward.
Commentators curse that have given away a free kick, but yeah, it does look as if he's first choice right back. I'm not convinced about Callum Patterson playing as a right winger. I don't think he's technically good enough, but there's no doubt that Liam Smith is good enough to play at right back.
Dimitrov will take the free kick for Birkirkara. Dimitrov with the right boots, and well held at the second attempt by Jack Hamilton.
You see this ball coming in, I tell you what, it's not a bad ball. It's a low flighted ball with a bit of pace. Good for Jack Hamilton's confidence to get that one under control, and as a defender or a midfielder, anybody that's in the box, to see your goalkeeper taking control of the ball is good for the confidence.
It's well played by Arnaud Joum to win the ball back 25 yards from goal, and Hearts now have the free kick in a good position, and Jamie Walker the first man on the scene as he looks to size up a delivery into the box.
Yeah, it was a very good play from Arnaud Joum, and I think that's something you can see from the Hearts play so far. Birkirkara looking to play out from the back, and Hearts looking to press them high up and win that ball in the final third.
Matthew Guillaumer, the 19-year-old, making a rare start with Jovic injured. Well, I thought Walker would be over it. In fact, it looks like the captain, Alim Ozturk, may have a strike at goal here. Ozturk awaits the whistle from the Bulgarian official, who's satisfied the wall is far enough back. It's Alim Ozturk, punched away by Kopric, the Croatian goalkeeper. A number of Eastern European players in the Maltese lineup. Signed 3 Serbians and a Croatian over the summer. The manager, Drazen Besek, hails from Croatia as well. It's Walker's curling effort. He didn't quite get enough whip on it, but again finding space on the edge of the area, and again Faisal Reras willing to offer the overlap.
Yeah, it's a good point, Rory. You see as he cuts back inside here, Reras making the overlap run. Always up in support. Looks as if they've maybe got a good wee partnership going. Disappointing that Jamie Walker didn't manage to get his foot wrapped around it more and trouble the goalkeeper Kopric in goal. But positive signs for Hearts. You know, the first 10 minutes or so, a lot of the game's been spent up in Birkirkara's half.
Certainly no signs in the opening 11 or so minutes that Hearts are just willing to sit on 0-0. Robbie Nielsen's men going for a goal. That could be crucial in this tie. Taken down by Skicciolina. Rossi giving away the free kick. Or winning the free kick, I should say. To Ozturk, and as the weeks progress, the fitness levels of this Hearts side will get better and better. A few questions asked of them by Infonet in the first leg at Tynecastle. Some thought a 2-1 victory wouldn't be enough to see them through, but last week 4-2 in Tallinn is a very convincing scoreline. They were actually the first Hearts side to score 4 goals away from home in a European match. There's Igor Rossi, Salmon. Taken down. Connor Salmon will talking to from the referee. No more of that for the Republic of Ireland striker.
It did just look a little bit cumbersome. It was a typical forwards tackle. You see quite easily taken on by Skicciolina and dragged them back. Classic forwards challenge. With the ball up to Salmon before, it wasn't the best ball, but it's one of the things that for me Connor Salmon's got to work on is his touch, his link-up play. At times it can be not the best, you know, his touch can bounce off him quite a bit, and especially when you're playing as a focal point away from home in games like this, you want to have somebody that's going to hold the ball up, somebody that's going to allow the players to get up in support of them.
Zoom just out-muscled by Sean Bajada. Trying to progress beyond the halfway line. Important for Hearts that if they are to hit Connor Salmon long, that Walker, Zoom and Patterson get close to the big striker. Patterson being utilised as the out ball. Question of whether this will be a free kick or a throw-in.
They're waiting to see it. It looks as if the linesman's flagged for a free kick here.
certainly was waving his flag furiously.
Yeah. For the wee confab and decided it'll be a throw instead.
It's a long throw from Patterson, but Miroslav Kopric coming out well and taking the ball, and then trying to unleash Vito Plut. Birkirkara also finished third in the Maltese Premier League last season. Disappointing result for them. The title was won by Valletta. Rossi. Salmon asked to run the channel, and he does that well.
And that's the difference. Juanma up front would never win that ball. He wouldn't make that run into that area. And this has allowed Hearts to get into the final third.
Salmon again. Skiveras can knock it onto Cicciolina. Hearts will have the throw. Home supporters a little disgruntled by that one. Correct call by the officials though.
Yeah, I think so. If it wasn't a handball, it was a throw-in for Hearts either way.
Walker barged off it by Dimitrov. And that one should go the way of the home team.
Sorry, Rory, I know we're only 15 minutes in, but quite clearly the pattern of play is as we expected. You've got Birkirkara, who are defensive. They've got Plut up front, who's the one that's going to try and run in behind and hurt Hearts, but he's very isolated. Hearts in control of possession a lot, and hopefully they'll be able to make that tell and get that away goal that could make a huge difference in the tie. But really, this is a tie that Hearts can look to win.
From Rossi. Birkirkara did in fact run West Ham very close last season into Slaven Bilic's third and fourth games in charge. West Ham had to rely on penalty kicks here in Malta to get past Birkirkara after a 1-0 defeat at the Takali. But it's been all change for Drazen Besek. Was not the manager then. He came in around about December time after a poor start to the league campaign, and actually the only player that remains from the side that played against West Ham at this stage last season was the number 5, Marcelina Emerson. No way through for Dimitrov.
When you actually think about that, Rory, to have a starting lineup that's almost completely changed in a 12-month period that's a huge turnover of players.
Walker, lovely turn. Picks out Patterson too, who drills it across, just can't quite find a Hearts jersey. Thought about the ball out to the right-hand side for Smith, instead drops it back for Ozturk. Graben. Walker now to try one. Just off target again, but another sighting of goal for Hearts.
Yeah, they're creating a fair few chances, not clear cut, but picking up good areas of space. You see Boabin cutting back inside, and Patterson and Walker in a little pocket of space there. Walker getting a shot off. Disappointing again, not to hit the target. I thought perhaps in the last one where he eventually played the ball out to Patterson, he could have maybe had a strike then. But positive signs for Hearts this almost 20 minutes into the game, and they're definitely on the front foot and the upper hand in this game.
The encouraging thing to see there was either Kitchen or Boabin with the ball in midfield, and then so many options forward. Walker, Zoom, Patterson, Salmon, and also the fullbacks pushing on. And this is Reras. Now Walker trying to continue that relationship with Faisal Reras. No nonsense from Igor Rossi. Ozturk, in fact, it was, blasting the ball high into the stand. Rossi, Walker does well to keep the ball in play and under control. Clears it up towards Salmon.
You see Bubelovic climbing on the back of Salmon there, but to be honest, I think with the ball going out for a throw-in so close to the touchline, the referee was right.
Heavy challenge there on Jamie Walker. The Maltese side pinpointing him as a danger early on. Drazen Besek started his managerial career at Shanghai Shenhua. Had he remained, he would now have the likes of Didier Drogba and Nicolas Anelka in his playing staff. How times have changed in the Chinese Super League. Kitchen to Rossi. Left-footed. Rossi knocks the ball up to Salmon. Connor Salmon will certainly give the two centre-backs something new to think about.
Looks like a bad cut. I think it's Bubelovic's. You can see the blood coming down the side of his head there, and Connor Salmon was rubbing the back of his. Just looks as if he heads right at the back of Connor Salmon. I think it goes out for a Birkirkara throw-in, although Hearts have been given it. But it's a sore one there for Bubelovic.
Well, he's certainly going to have to take some time off the pitch as they either patch that up or he may not return to the game. That does look a bad one, and that is a concern for Birkirkara because they were already their first choice centre-back down in Jovic, and if they were to lose Bubelovic, who usually partners him, that would be a worry because they've got a 19-year-old rookie alongside him in Matthew Guillemer. This would have been the last thing that Drazen Besek would have wanted to see.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, the style that Birkirkara play with they want themselves tight, compact and difficult to break down through the middle. A lot of that stems from having the experience of the two centre-halves, Jovic and Bubelovic. If they were to lose Bubelovic here, and it doesn't look good, and it looks as if it's a bad cut, you're right, he's going to be off the park for some period. He might perhaps not get back on. That would be a concern, to have your two first choice centre halves off the park.
Well, they do have the right back, Edward Pereira, who could come on to play. He is the number 2 there in shot.
That's the thing though, Rory, you know, when it gets to that stage, it really is a case of just making do with what they've got. He might not be a centre-half, but he's a defender, and that's all that really counts or matters at this point when you've not really got many other options.
Well, the captain, Gareth Skivaras, is looking on concerned there as his teammate taken off the field. They'll be desperate to try and get him patched up, but for now, Birkirkara down to 10. Can Hearts take advantage? It's Rossi. Now Smith does well to come inside and then looks to release Joom. Well retrieved though by the hosts, and Flute to Zarafa. He's the left back.
This is the occasion where Hearts have got to press, you know, go and win the ball. You've got Bubelovic off the park. Don't allow them easy possession here. That's it, get up the park, get pressing them. Try and win it high up and put that back four under pressure. That's it, good play from Rossi. just you saw when Birkirkara won the ball, they were no interested in going forward at all. They wanted to turn back. You heard the shouts as well, keep the ball. They're trying to buy time and get Bubilovic back on. Although, you know, he's not moved a great deal here. But they're trying to, you know, kill the game. Hearts have got to recognise that. Almost like a blitz, you know, defence. Get up, try and win it up high at the park, like they have done so far this game. This is the perfect opportunity to do it now.
Well, for now, Marcelina Emerson has slotted in at centre-back. And there will be plenty of time for certainly the Hearts defenders and the two more defensive-minded midfielders in Prince Buaban and Perry Kitchen. This is Kitchen into Walker. Buaban wants to take the aerial route.
It was a tough pass to come off. It was a little bit telegraphed. You saw that Dimitrov was almost in position. He was reading the pass before it was played.
We did wonder about the pitch beforehand, whether it would be particularly dry. It doesn't look too bad. A little bobbly. That cross is well claimed by Miroslav Kopric.
I like the looks of Walker and Rieras down the left here the first 25 minutes. Rieras will be a little bit disappointed with the cross, but you can see that they've got a good understanding between the two of them, and that's something that I'm sure Robbie Nielsen will be very happy with and look forward to for the rest of the season. They strike up a good partnership.
To remind you a wee bit of Takis Fisas.
Yeah, I mean, it does to a certain extent, yeah. You know, he's similar style of play, and he was certainly somebody that wanted to get forward into the final third as well. You know, a modern day attacking full-back.
Sore one for Rossi there as he
gets a shin pad on the nose.
Made of stern stuff though, Igor Rossi. He did start on the bench for the home game against Infonet, but 2 goals and an assist in the away game. And here we have one of the water breaks. It is hot out here in Malta, and the players been given every chance to hydrate and keep cool.
Yeah, well, I was talking about it before the game. It would be interesting to see, you know, if or when these water breaks happen. And I think there was a bit of chat and conversation about making sure that the concentration continues after these water breaks, that, you know, the players don't switch off immediately after them. But you can understand it's sensible from the referee when it's so hot to give the guys a quick break and a drink and start the game up again.
Well, still Christian Bubilovic remains down, and it certainly looks like he will play no further part in this game.
And that looks like a fair bit of swelling from that angle there as well. And he doesn't look like he's moved a great deal since then, and there was a lot of blood very quickly. Like a boxer's cut just on the top of the eye. It's difficult to stop the bleeding there.
Looks like he's gone 12 rounds already.
But the thing you can guarantee is that Birkirkara will give him every opportunity to try and get him back on the park. That they'll not be wanting to make a substitution and get him off.
Well, I think you can tell that by the amount of time that they are giving the physios to work on him. In the meantime, Hearts looking to take advantage.
But that's the point I'm making, where you don't want the team to start forcing it here, but there need to be a level of recognition that, you know, Birkirkara are down to 10 men. You know, that's a slack pass from Rieras there, but recognise that Birkirkara are down to 10 men with They've got their two first-choice centre-halves off the park just now. Go and try and exploit it.
Well, Dimitrov has done well there and swings the cross in, dangerous. Missed completely by Guillaume, much to the delight of the jovial travelling support. A nice bit of play though.
Yeah, it was a good bit of link up down the right hand side here.
Go again, Feist. Go again. Come on, come on.
Dimitrov with the cross in. I think it was Luna on the edge of the box with a wee fresh air strike.
Don Cowie has come on for Hearts, and Perry Kitchen, we didn't actually notice that he had been struggling with an injury. What do you see behind that, Michael?
Well, it must well have been an injury, a knock or something, because that's taken us by surprise. You see Bubilovic getting his head all up as if he's ready to try and come back on, but for Hearts there, it's got to be an injury, because it's a substitution that Robbie Nielsen wouldn't have wanted to be making. They were comfortable in the middle.
Well, Christian Bubilovic returns to the fray and joins Don Cowie on the field, who missed the first round against Infonet with a calf injury. He was talking in the lead up to this game about his experience in such warm, humid temperatures as he experienced with Scotland against the United States in Jacksonville a couple of years back. Hume almost getting away. This is Walker. And we're back to 11 against 11. We'll see how Bubilovic manages to cope since the cut to the top of his head. Marcelina Emerson across to Bubilovic, picked off by Buaben. Hume has mistimed the challenge. Zerafa. Sliding across with Oztur. Reading the play well. Cowie. Zerafa to Bahada. Good ball into 14 is Vito Plut. But that takes the striker out of the area he would want to. And Jack Hamilton, just really the second time he's been called into the action, and he took it well.
Yeah, you see the cross coming in, it's a high looping one. Jack Hamilton's backtracking, sometimes very difficult to get your feet moving quick enough to get in the right position and collect the ball, but he looked very assured, and you know, for a young goalkeeper like that, it's twice now he's had to deal with the ball, and I think he's handled himself very, very well.
It's going to be an interesting season for Jack Hamilton. He's been given the #1 jersey, but you'd have thought Victor Noring will not be overly keen to let him have that week in, week out. Jack Hamilton had his first call up to the national team, was on the bench here in Malta at the Tecali Stadium when Scotland took in Italy at the end of May. Likewise in Metz against France.
That last passage you play there, that's been, for me, Hearts have got to look to get the ball side to side quicker, you know, stretch the opposition. We've already spoken about, you know, the wide areas are the areas where they're going to get joy. Jimmy Walker comes off the line, he cuts inside. Patterson's out 1v1 in the wide area, he's got the space. Look to play the diagonal quickly, get the ball switched from side to side and stretch the Birkirkara back four.
Emerson across to Bubalovic. Captain Skiveras. No problem for the Hearts back four. They really haven't allowed Birkirkara a sighting of goal yet. Buaben. Ozturk. Nice touch. Here goes Patterson. He just couldn't get it under control. As the play began to open up there for Hearts, it looked promising for a moment. Now Djoum. Out to Smith.
See, that's the play that I'm talking about. Djoum, good awareness. One touch, bang, play it out, get into those wide areas, in those pockets quickly to allow the guys in those areas to go 1v1 against the opponents. Djoum's got that though, you know, he's got good awareness.
He was a fantastic signing last season by Robbie Nielsen. Contributed with 7 goals. Ball to pick out Walker, who'd come in unmarked. Just couldn't quite get enough on the header.
And that all started with a quick ball up to, I think it was Liam Smith who had moved up into the wide area, but a quick ball into the wide area, and then came back to Buaben, who put in a great cross. And yes, Liam Smith plays it back, a really nice whipped ball in from the deeper area from Buaben. Jamie Walker getting himself into a good position, just slightly behind him and difficult to get enough power on it and really test Kopric in the Birkirkara goal.
Walker is also no stranger to finding the back of the net. Just the 8 goals last season, but he did have those knee problems. Once he got back in the side, he came back and firing on all cylinders. I think it was 6 goals in his first 8 games back. Buaben to Walker. Turn leg will be in a week's time at Tynecastle. Patterson's header, it will drop for Walker. Herreras just knocking the ball out. Away by Rossi. Birkirkara managed to shuffle up the park. It's Attard. Left by Smith. Calm defending.
Very calm. What calmer than us sitting up here, Rory, I tell you. I think, you know, he was signalling there, talking whether he hadn't got the shout or whether he was telling the guys, no problem, you know, Jack Hamilton had given him the call. But yeah, for somebody so young, showing good awareness and composure there.
Dimitrov looks it back for Bajada. Now Birkirkara enjoying one of their better spells of the game, but that may allow Hearts to enjoy the counter-attack. It's It's with Patterson to Salmon, who got a tug from Bubilovic.
Patterson will be happy that he gets called back to retake the free kick. He tried to play a through ball there that ended up going to nobody. But, you know, free kicks in and around these areas are a good chance to, you know, just set it up, take your time, especially, you know, we've spoken a lot about it when you're playing in such heat. Take your time, set it up, get the guys in the box, try and get a good delivery in there and give them an opportunity to go and attack the ball.
Just the 5 minutes left to play of this first half at the Hibernian Stadium in Malta. It's Walker's ball in and too much on it.
Disappointing. I think, you know, somebody that's got the quality like Jimmy Walker, he'll be disappointed with that himself. Didn't really, you know, I spoke about giving the guys a chance to go and attack it. Rossi's round the back post, and even still, he didn't have an opportunity to go and attack that because it was just too much on it.
Didn't stop him claiming for the corner though.
Well, it never will. Always got to give it a shout.
Smith reads the play well, then knocked on by Cowie to Zoom. And Salmon and Bubilovic again, arm in arm. Strong header by Ozturk. Smith too knocks the ball upfield for Patterson. Salmon. Now Walker, it's just a bit untidy for now.
But you see that passage there, I think that just epitomises the play that Birkirkara want. You saw how many bodies were in there when the ball was tight. You could have thrown a blanket over about 10 of them. You know, if you get that ball from the middle, you want to get it circulating quickly, back out and get it wide. That's where I know that Robbie's looking for the team to hurt Birkirkara.
Bahada's long ball, and then the shot coming in from Ryan Skichlina. Wide of the target, but that is the first attempt really they've had on Jack Hamilton's goal.
It is, it's actually not a bad run from Skichlina there. Gets the chest control down, strike off, and, you know, comfortable. He's got it covered, and I think Herreras had pushed him far enough wide. But, you know, an out to in run can be difficult for fullbacks to keep an eye on it. But as you said, it's the first real foray from Birkirkara into Hearts' box.
Now Salmon. For a moment it got in behind, but unable to make anything of it. Although it does allow Hearts just to step their back line up. It's Buaben to Patterson. Smith. Emerson out to the left back is Zarafa. Forward it goes, but these balls so easy for Rossi and Ozturk just to clean up. They'll be expecting their midfield to hang on to it. Tard, captain. Emerson. Zarafa. Well, they seem content on getting to half-time at 0-0. Bubilovic. Just overstretching was Skichlina. Tard finds Dimitrov, and it's a good run by Plut. Cross covering Ali Ozturk, and that was important. With just a minute of the half left. That's brought encouragement to the home crowd though. Zerafa, but he couldn't link the passes with Vito Plutz. And then Patterson wins the free kick after having to withstand a bit of pressure.
Yeah, it's by far the best bit of play from Birkirkara in this first half. A nice run from Vito Plut. Dimitrov just sliding the reverse pass into him. But I think and close the space off and defend that situation well. You know, for Hearts, they're going to get real joy for me down this left-hand side. Reras and Walker got a good partnership, understanding going. Walker's just got to be, you know, make sure that he's not spending too much time infield, clogging himself down. Get himself out onto the touchline, and then once he gets the ball, he can start to drift and let Reras get on the overlap. On the right-hand side, a little bit disappointing. Can understand maybe why he's got Patterson there, because away from home, slightly more defensive-minded, and he's still athletic and giving you the option of getting in behind. But technically, you know, I don't think he's good enough to play that further position up the park, and hence I don't think they've had the same joy on the right that they have on the left.
We are 30 seconds into the 3 minutes of stoppage time. I thought in the main part that would be down to Christian Bubelovic and the head knock that he took. You see him there, the number 3. Oh, loose pass under pressure by Kane Attard, and that just allows Hearts to, with this throw-in, which Walker will lead.
What a great time this would be to pick up a goal right before half-time. I think Hearts would deserve it on the first half display so far. Maybe not created enough opportunity.
And it's Patterson, the long throw specialist, looking for Salmon. He got muscled out of the contest. Returned by Rossi. Walker is now over on that right-hand side, covering Patterson. Don Cowie. Now here goes Reras. To Buaben. Rossi to Prince Buaben again. Cowie. So much experience to this side. Walker.
Just becomes bogged down again. You see, once the ball gets out into those areas, when you play too many short passes and get into the wide areas, it allows Birkirkara to shuffle across and get the bodies in. You know, in these areas here where Buaben picks it up, get out your feet, look to switch it, look to get that ball into the wide area quick. You see now Liam Smith, maybe try and miss that one pass out to Ozturk and hit the wide man earlier.
It's Ozturk's ball. Patterson controlled it well, but he couldn't keep possession. And now Birkirkara have the free kick, and that should be just about enough to see out the half. Cowie may feel that he got enough on that ball. And that will do it for the opening 45 minutes here at the Hibernians Stadium in Malta. Don Cowie just has a quiet word with the referee. Cowie, who came on for Perry Kitchen midway through that first half. Jack Hamilton hasn't been overly tested. There was one effort from Ryan Skichluna for Birkirkara, but in the main, Michael, Hearts have been pretty good in possession, although not too many clear-cut chances.
Yeah, I think that, you know, we've spoken about it a fair bit in the first half there. Defensively, not under any real pressure. They've dominated the possession. You know, back to middle, I think they've been very comfortable. And middle to front, they have created a few things without being clear-cut. And you see that man there, Reras, think him and Jamie Walker have been the best outlet for Hearts. Getting into those wide areas are where they're going to hurt the opposition quite clearly.
Have you seen enough from Hearts to suggest that they should feel that they should win this on the night?
I don't think there's any doubt that Hearts should to go into half-time here, and we see this one that was ruled out for offside. Very, very tight call. But I don't think there's any doubt that going back into the changing rooms there, that Hearts should be confident that they should be able to get a victory here.
Just seeing through some of the best of the first half action, and you can see Jamie Walker was at the centre of so much for Hearts.
And also what you see is that it's hogged down at Birkirkara's end, and a lot of it, Jamie Walker, Reras, all down this left-hand side where they've troubled them. This was where Dimitrov gets in a ball into the edge of the box, but Hearts dealing with it fairly easily, and Guillermer with a fresh air swipe as well.
Yeah, there were a couple of warnings from Birkirkara to suggest that they can goal here that could make things awkward back at Tynecastle.
Well, I mean, they had a couple of flurries into Hearts' half. I wouldn't worry about it a great deal. Another nice bit of play from Hearts. Jamie Walker making a good run, and that's a really nice whipped ball in from Boabin. But yeah, Birkirkara, they're at home. You're going to expect them to at least offer something, or going to have an opportunity or two. I wouldn't be worried about it a great deal if I was Hearts. Concentrate, of course, you've always got to respect and keep your concentration, but I've not seen anything from Birkirkara that Hearts should be really concerned about.
That was probably the best effort there by Ryan Skichluna. But as the referee brought the first half to a close, it is Birkirkara 0, Hearts 0. It's a familiar name, but unfamiliar surroundings for Hearts at the Hibernians Stadium in Malta as the second half gets underway. 0-0 as we start the second half. No changes from Robbie Nielsen at the break for what is Hearts' first European campaign since 2012, that last match. The 1-1 draw down at Anfield. David Templeton finding the net late on, cancelled out. And they could do with a goal here, but they certainly will not be panicking. They look the better footballing side.
That's good play from Hearts, winning the ball high up the park. They've done it a number of times in the first half. Donkey putting a real press on there.
Patterson, just a bit of frustration as his touch let him down a little.
I think that sums up why Patterson's playing there, but also why I don't think he should play there. He gives that pacing behind the threat, but then his touch and technique not good enough in the tight areas.
It's Callum Patterson, who made his Scotland debut in May, not too far from here, just around about 8 kilometres away at the Takali Stadium. And the goalkeeper, Miroslav Kopric, is down and clutching his head now. They've already got one with a bandage on.
Perhaps quite a sore one. It looked as if he was making a bit of a meal of it. He probably is, but slightly painful to get caught on the jaw with a forearm from Jamie Walker. No real malice in it. I think the referee's played it right. Free kick, get up and let's play on.
Saw Walker getting in at the back post in the first half. Perhaps Birkirkara alive to that threat. Here's Boabin. Patterson looks long. And Emerson will be tested by Salmon, who was hoping that there were backup troops to reinforce him.
He's quick when he gets going, but at the same time, looks slow and cumbersome to change direction there. He made the good run in behind. He put Emerson under pressure, but you could see that Emerson was taking the ball away in the other direction, and he looked slow to react to that.
Quick over 20 yards, not over 5, but Hume proving to be a pest for the Birkirkara defence. And here's Patterson, and he wins the corner.
Good pressure again from Hearts, not allowing Birkirkara defenders any time on the ball.
Well, 2 goals in Estonia last week came from corners. This is something Hearts will certainly have been working on over the pre-season. Ozturk, definitely one of the targets for Jamie Walker to pick out. Will be an outswinger from the right boot of Walker. And Cockbridge, one for the cameras a little there.
Just a little bit, Rory. Comfortable for the goalkeeper, but made it look rather dramatic.
Joseph Zarafa now seems to have taken a knock to the head. Patterson's header. Patterson will leave this throw for the Birkirkara player. Salmon just knock it back after the ball was put out for Zarafa there.
I'm not 100% sure what Callum Patterson was doing, why he dropped the ball.
Zarafa certainly didn't seem too happy with what was going on. On with the football anyway. It's Cockbridge with the goal kick. Patterson rises well. Connor Salmon watched stride for stride by Marcelina Emerson, former Hellas Verona player in Italy. From the first half, the Patterson long throw looked to hit Hume. Patterson's route to a teammate was blocked off, and this is where Birkirkara might fancy their chances on the break. It's tidied up by Rossi though, and neatly done by Hearts. No panicking.
Just when the ball gets spun out to Patterson there, I thought he could have turned and attacked the space himself.
Well, Walker being held all the way, and it will be the first yellow card of the game.
When the ball did get played back to Liam Smith, you see Jamie Walker there making a great run from the left into the inside right position and causing real problems for the Birkirkara defence, and ending up with Emerson picking up the yellow card there.
He will need to tread carefully. We did touch on the shortage of centre-back options. And certainly fearing the threat of Jamie Walker there. Arms all over him. Spotted by the Bulgarian official.
It was good play from Jamie Walker. He got in there, he recognised where the defender was, got his arm across him and his body as well, and won the free kick. And this is a dangerous position, and it's a good opportunity for Hearts to put a bit of pressure on the Birkirkara goal.
Chance for Hearts then to test out one of the free kick routines. Rossi and Ozturk are up, so too Salmon. Walker right-footed, and Buaban on the edge of the area flies well over the top. Scored in the home game against Infonet.
Not a bad ball in from Jimmy Walker. Boabin will be a bit disappointed with his effort from the edge of the box. But the ball in, it's one of those where, perhaps on another occasion it lands on the end of a Hearts player's head. But to be honest, a lot of the balls that have come in, the Birkirkara defenders have dealt with them fairly well.
So we can expect to see further changes in the Hearts squad as the transfer window remains open. There are a couple of interesting departures this week, with Margaro Gomes going off to play in Malaysia, but also Billy King out on loan to Inverness, despite just having extended his contract by 6 months.
Yeah, and having spoken to people back home, they were perhaps a little bit surprised with that one as well. He gives Hearts a little bit of a different option in the wide areas as well, because he's got genuine pace.
Also pace on the bench this evening in the form of Nicholson and Zanata, Robbie Muirhead too, to go with the more physical outlook that Juanma offers. But for now, Robbie Nielsen sticking with his starting lineup, other than Perry Kitchen, who had to go off early, and down goes Arnaud Jume. Looks back perhaps more in hope at the referee than anything else.
I don't think there's any doubt, Rory, it is looking back a bit more in hope. There's nothing in that. You see Guillemert coming at contact, but there was nothing in it to suggest that the Bulgarian referee was going to give a penalty, and I think you saw that with the way that Jume was looking back at him. It was, as you said, looking back in hope.
Patterson, and it's been a dominant opening to the second half from Hearts. Smith. And now Rossi, under no pressure whatsoever. Boabin.
We've not seen that combination on the left-hand side though in this half. Reras and Walker, which was getting some success in the first half. If you're a Hearts midfield player, those are the balls. Get it in and fire the ball out to the wide areas. Fewer touches, 2-3 touches, bang out to the wide areas and let those guys go and cause problems.
Patterson wins the free kick from the challenge by Joseph Zarafa. Cross comes Walker for the free kick. Robbie Nielsen just having a word in the ear. It's Don Cowie to take the set play. Flipped in towards the back post. Takes a couple of attempts to try and clear it for Birkirkara, but eventually Kopric gets his hands on the ball. He's looked fairly solid, the Croatian, 31 years of age. It's Boabin out to Reras. Walker now. Walker does well to get the cross into Jume, who tried to turn Emerson, but he read it well. Didn't dive into the challenge. There's Walker getting to the byline, an encouraging sign for Hearts. Besek looking to exercise a few of his options on the bench. He does have Frank Tamil, an attacking midfielder, available, a Nigerian player who had some visa issues coming back into the country. So he's glad to have him available again. I expect to see him at some point, but this is Boabin to Ozturk. Now Smith just a little on his heels due to the pass. Smith lets it bounce. Hammered forward. Patterson can't chase it. You just wonder, do Hearts need to trust in their own ability on the ball rather than bringing themselves down to the level of the bouncing ball and keeping it in the air?
I just think that Hearts need to recognise, you know, where they're going to get joy in this game, and they need to get the ball into those areas quicker, fewer touches of the ball, and that's the area of the park. Those areas there, get into those areas quicker and go and hurt and exploit the opposition from there.
And Kerry unfortunate as the ricochet came off the former Scotland international. Bahada, nice little sidestep away from Kerry. And getting a bit of attention from Walker. Good distribution from the goalkeeper though. Shot coming in from Kane Attard. Just made his international debut back in May against the Czech Republic. He was a goal scorer away to Shiroki Brijeg, who Birkirkara managed to knock out in the last round. A 1-1 draw in Bosnia, not to be sniffed at all, and 2-0 when they took them back here.
You see there, Arnaud Jum, he's almost playing like a striker anyway, but obviously out of possession, he's dropping back in. You know, perhaps it's something that Hearts can look at here and get an out-and-out second striker on, because I don't think Birkirkara are going to cause them any real problems with a formation change like that. It's a very slight thing, but getting another second striker on the park means that when the ball gets into the box, you're going to have somebody there that's, you would hope, sniffing out opportunities more naturally than an attacking midfielder. And also, you see out on the right-hand side, I'm not convinced that Callum Patterson's the guy that's going to play wide right and do a real good job offensively. I think that he does better coming from a deeper position as an attacking fullback, and it's maybe something that they can look to change in those wide areas as well. Although, given all that, I'm pretty sure that 0-0 away from home, an hour in, Robbie Nilsson's not going to be overly disappointed. But this game is there for the taking, I think.
Well, the options of Nicholson, Zanata, Juanma, Muirhead, all on the bench, along with John Suter. Tell you what, if you were a centre-back, you wouldn't fancy the prospect of both Connor Salmon and Juanma. That would be some physical battle.
Muirhead as well, you know, he's a big strapping lad. It's not as if he's going to be somebody that would be pushed about lightly.
Curious how he fell so far out of favour at Dundee United last season, Robbie Muirhead, and picked up by Robbie Neilson. Very highly thought of when he came through at Kilmarnock. Can Robbie Neilson be the one to get the best out of the attacking youngster? As Walker wins a free kick again in a good area here for Hearts.
I mean, quite clearly a free kick. Skigaluna's complaining there, but it's a blatant free kick. And as you said, again, giving Hearts an opportunity to get the ball into the box. They've not been able to capitalise on what has been quite a few opportunities from free kicks in the final third.
Walker awaits. The delivery with the right foot. Almost broke for Cowie on the edge of the box. And turned in by Smith. hard. Walker will have it now. They'll have to go back before Hearts can go forward, though. Ozturk might think about lining one up. What a hit by Ali Ozturk. Well, shades of the derby from 2 years ago. Almost for Ali Ozturk to break the deadlock.
I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Walker past his man, and can he pick out a teammate? It's Jamie Walker. He just perhaps tried to do too much.
You see the strike here, and I think everybody was thinking the exact same thing as what you came out with. Shades of the derby goal at Easter Road. Fantastic strike. So unfortunate to see that coming rebounding back off the crossbar. But perhaps needs something like that, you know, something a bit different. Long range strike, and that almost proved to be vital here, unlocking the deadlock.
That's a good point. They haven't actually tested Miroslav Kopric too much in goal. He's come out for a couple of cross balls and looked handy enough. But it's a different matter when it's a stinging shot from a Hearts player. And Ozturk showing exactly how to do it there. The ball swung in, and Vito Plut a little frustrated. He feels he could have maybe done better, but it's slim pickings for the number 14 for Birkirkara.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's not had a great deal to work with. A rare cross into the box. Vito Plut, I think he was up against Rossi. The defender was close and tight enough to make it difficult for Plut to get any real purchase on it. And it ended up, you know, drifting wide. But, you know, there was Hearts, they hit the crossbar and they followed up with an immediate second wave of the attack, and Jamie Walker getting into a really good position, driving into the hole. Just think that you know, it's a difficult one at times when you get into those areas and you see a massive bodies and everybody seems to be picked up. And just as he makes his decision to go to the byline, Connor Salmon drifts out for the cutback, and unfortunately it petered out and didn't come to anything.
Hearts may feel now that the game may start to stretch and opportunities may arise.
I don't think there's any doubt when you're playing at a game in this sort of temperature, it will naturally begin to stretch and open up. Hearts have just got to make sure that they concentrate and that it's them that don't allow Birkirkara to come back into it and exploit any gaps.
Patterson was late there, but play on, said the referee, and now on the flip side, Hearts may be able to spring a counter themselves. It's Zoom through to Walker. And the ball over to the back post was over, hit for Patterson. Well, the Birkirkara players not overly impressed with that.
I think it was a free kick. I don't think there was any real malice in it, but that last passage of play summed up exactly what we're talking about. We're getting close to the 70-minute mark of the game, and now you're starting to see end-to-end stuff, whereas before it's been very congested.
Well, Callum Patterson picking up Hearts' first yellow card of the game. Here's Salmon. Good hold-up work. Zoom and Walker. Now Reras. Salmon had originally got away from his man, but illegally pushing the back of the defender.
Couldn't quite see what had happened there, but that's disappointing from Salmon there, because you know, Reras has shown quite a few times tonight already he's comfortable with switching the ball back onto his right foot, and that was a really nice cross he put into the box.
Plenty noise coming from the supporters inside the ground. Hearts sold out their charter. Plenty taking up the option for some summer sunshine in the Mediterranean.
As I'm sure will happen when the Tartan Army come here in the World Cup qualifiers.
Well, these Hearts supporters will be hoping for more to come of their European adventures. Here's Dimitrov, who is one of 3 new Serbian signings that came in over the summer. He played back in his homeland for Indija.
Classic European football there. I think he maybe got a wee tickle.
Kane Attard with the throw, and Dimitrov squeezed out. We're midway through the second half. It's been a job well done by Hearts so far, but they would love to get 1, maybe 2 goals away from home that would really put them in the driving seat in this tie. Without an away goal, it always makes it dangerous at home, that if you do concede, you really are chasing the game from there. For Ryan Skitsluna. Well won by Patterson. Smith with throw to Cowie. Faisal Reras to continue the good work that he and Walker have done down the left-hand side throughout the game. Here's Patterson though, almost the break of the ball in the box, going the way of the Hearts number 2.
Wasn't a great deal of finesse in that attack, more brawn and a bit of power to try and bustle away through.
Cries to close down Ali Mozturt from the home bench. Managed to that time after seeing the danger that he possesses. It's Patterson's header. Head tennis was almost the option for Hearts there. Reras. Salmon wasn't sure where it had gone. Cowie to Reras. Birkirkara closed down in their clearance.
2 crosses there from Reras in quick succession, one with the left, one with the right. I think he's somebody that is going to be a real plus and positive for Hearts over this coming season.
Hearts look to have found a talented right back in the 23-year-old Moroccan. Kopric upfield, chested down by Vito Plut. It's Luna. Reras, back it goes to Igor Rossi. Vubilovic knocking the ball out of play. Hearts can move up nicely here.
I think at this stage of the game, you know, it starts to die down a little bit naturally because of the temperature that the guys have been playing in. I think it'd be wise to look at making a couple of substitutions, try and get the tempo back into it. Go and search that, you know, away goal. You've already spoken about it, Rory, how vital a away goal can be, and if you don't get it, you know, you perhaps leave yourself exposed to that when you go back to Tynecastle. Although, given how defensive Birkirkara are at home, I'd be astonished and amazed if it was to be any different away from home. But you're right, you know, a goal can come around from anything, a deflection, a penalty, a complete fluke. So I think, you know, this game's there for the taking. Hearts in the last 20 minutes should maybe look at mixing something up, making a change.
Rossi just halted. There will be a change, and you can see Robbie Nielsen has on his big number 9. Juanma will come on to replace Connor Salmon. Shouldn't really change too much in the way of the system though, Michael.
No, I can understand the substitution, but I wouldn't be doing that solely. I'd be looking to make another sub and try and get more bodies into that central area in the box. I think Connor Salmon's done plenty of running, what you'd expect from him, but a great deal of quality. Juanma's not going to give you any more athleticism or any more running power, but you know, he certainly has an eye for goal. I think if you get somebody else that's going to play closer to him or up around him, and you might see the best of that substitution.
We'll have the second of our water breaks now, and the players can just regain some hydration. It is baking heat here in Paola, which is just to the southeast across the bay from the capital city in Malta, Valletta. Well, the change as well, Juanma, I think Robbie Nielsen probably thought that he had got his star centre forward. He came into the side early on and he got so many goals early, but then they just dried up a little in the second half of the season. Just 4 goals since the end of October for Juanma last season.
Yeah, I think on his day he's a handful and very, very difficult. He's got all the attributes you would want and look for, but unfortunately there wasn't enough of those days. You know, just Walker getting poleaxed there, and I think that he's somebody that at times struck up quite a good partnership with Juanma because he offers the running in behind. You know, he's a very clever, intelligent player, Jimmy Walker, with his runs. He makes good runs, and it's maybe something that they could look at, you know, talking about getting somebody in and around Juanma who can play off of him, maybe moving Jamie Walker into that position and bringing somebody else out in the wide areas. And you could even drop Arnold Zoom into the midfield, because I don't think you need 2 out-and-out sitting midfielders there up against this Birkirkara team.
Patterson, no way through. Zarafa can only clear out of play. Goal now would be worth so much to Hearts. Patterson to Smith. 2 right-sided players almost linking up to good effect.
Smith's a youngster that, you know, I've spoken about before. I am impressed with. A little bit clumsy with his challenge there, but his final ball tonight's been a little bit disappointing. He's had quite a few passes that have been cut out, intercepted, but you know, he's somebody that's got a bright future, because I think that position right back, you know, if Callum Patterson moves on in the next year or 2, he looks like a ready-made replacement. Or perhaps he's going to be the #1 choice for right back from the off this start of the season.
Sometimes easy to forget, particularly with his physical stature. But Callum Patterson only a year older than Liam Smith, but He has played 139 times for Hearts. Most of it at right back, but did have a season as a centre forward.
And for a lot of the same reasons why I don't think he was a particularly good striker is why I don't think he fits that position higher up the park on the right.
Well, one of his main attributes is that engine and using his physical size to almost play that entire right-hand side. He's got such good stamina to get up and down the whole right flank rather than just concentrating on the attacking features.
Definitely, I think he's somebody that is better at seeing the game in front of him and exploiting the space that's there. Sometimes when he's up higher up the park, everything's a bit too tight and close to him, and I don't think he's got quick enough feet with the ball to be able to guide his way through tight areas.
Robbie Muirhead and Dario Zanata looking on. It's again well taken by Miroslav Kopric. He's come out to take a couple of long throws, a couple of corner kicks. Certainly not one to flap at the cross ball. That's good work by Attard. Plut almost slipped it in. A chance for Joseph Zarapa. But now here comes Juanma to use his power up against Marcelina Emerson.
Good play from Juanma. They're putting Emerson under real pressure, and all he could do was put it out for a throw-in. But Hearts were under a bit of pressure at the back. It was a good bit of play from Vito Plut, and he almost slid in Zarafa, and if he had got in, he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Tempo and the atmosphere just beginning to rise a little here in the Hibernian Stadium. Hearts will have a corner as Drazen Besek gives his instructions to Frank Tamil. He's an attacking midfielder. Hearts fans trying to urge their players on to get this away goal. Ozturk just told not to push it too far. Bit of a joke between him and the goalkeeper. Walker's ball in. Goalkeeper got the touch. And Patterson's volley just a yard or so wide of the target.
You see the referee talking to Ozturk and the goalkeeper. You look where the starting position is of the goalkeeper, very unusual. And Patterson, unfortunate, not to get that one on target, because if he had, I think that creeps into the front post. The goalkeeper, Kopric, he starts so far back towards his back post. Ozturk's obviously trying to block him because he wants to come for all the balls up in the air, and he's done well doing that so far. But because he's so far back, drops to Patterson. If he gets the ball in at the near post, I think he gets a goal out of that.
There wasn't too much protection on offer from his defence as Jamie Walker's night is run, and Sam Nicholson will come on for the final 8.5 minutes. Robbie Nielsen goes in search of a winner. Nicholson started the game at home in the last round at Tynecastle. 20 minutes off the bench over in Estonia.
Rory, I just have to draw everybody's attention to that bit of control from Robbie Nielsen. He never done that in his whole career. Got his foot up round his neck and he pulled the ball down with one touch. Unbelievable.
And I'm sure you'll let him know that you drew attention to it.
I'll let him know that you missed it as well.
It's Cowie to Buaben. Smith will get there. Touch away from Tamil, but just run out of play by Liam Smith. Ozturk, Tamil. Arno Jum's been a quieter figure in this second half. He's not had so much influence on proceedings.
And he's somebody that is a really good technician, and you want to get him on the ball as much as possible. I just think at times he allows the game to drift, by and not get involved enough. When he's on the ball, really good. But I think he needs to impose himself more on the game, be more demanding, go and seek the ball out.
And here is the first influence from Sam Nicholson. Ozturk to Buaben. Ozturk again, who's come closest for Hearts. A rasping effort from 35 plus yards that struck the frame of the goal. Nielsen just asking Juanma to curl his run there, I think.
Well, you see that run there. I think if he makes the run across the face of the defender, Emerson, he would keep himself onside. You see Robbie saying, good, but telling him to arc his run. As a striker, he's got to see that. Make the run across the face of the defender and arc it into the space, because the space was there. It was the right idea, but just didn't execute the run right.
Just two number 10s coming together, he and Sredan Dimitrov. It's Rossi now, and Nicholson could be in here. This could be the opportunity for Hearts, and if Juanma had gambled on the ball across, he would have had a tap in from 3 yards out.
But again, a good quick ball into the wide area. Nicholson gets in, but for me, Jum's the ball. Cut it back. You can see he's looking at him. Yes, Juanma needs to gamble and get himself right in there, but the ball, you see Arno Jum, he's got his arms out, showing, just play it to my feet there. Sam Nicholson surely sees him.
Hearts upping the tempo though in the final 10 minutes of this game. It's Buaben to Patterson. Birkirkara haven't offered too much on the counter, but Vito Plut has done well there. Skichluna. Back to Kane Attard. They seem quite content with the 0-0 though.
It certainly seems that way, because I can't remember Jack Hamilton being tested in this game, so far. For a home side, they really haven't offered a great deal in the final third.
Felt a bit for Vito Plut there, who did a fine hold-up job, passed it on to a teammate who then turned back and passed it along the back four.
Vito Plut's actually impressed me. I think he's not a bad player, but he's just very much isolated and left on.
Goes the former Maribor player. Won the Slovenian league title with them as a youngster. The former Slovenian under-21s international. Slovenia, another team that will be in Scotland's group along with Malta. Just encouraged back to his feet by Jack Hamilton. He perhaps sees more urgency in Hearts going in search of this elusive away goal. Well, they've dealt well with the conditions, Hearts. They've gained in strength as the game has gone on.
One thing quite clearly in the game here, we're looking at 87, 88 minutes. Hearts look fit. We saw the game last week, the Aberdeen game, and at times they looked laboured. It was a poor performance from Aberdeen. Whereas Hearts here, yes, they've not managed to break Birkirkara down, but they've been the team in the ascendancy and they look fit and strong.
All three of the Scottish representatives in the Europa League in action tonight, Hibernian and Aberdeen as well, both at home back in Scotland. Nicholson thought he was getting the free kick. It is in fact a free kick going the way of the home side, and Zoom is next to go in the book. Second Hearts player being carded. I don't think he agrees.
Well, he's bemused, but he's left the leg dangling there. I mean, that looks like a real sore one on Skeet Luna. And at this level of Europa League, it's not overly surprising he's picking up a yellow card for that.
Well, Hearts scored 4 goals away from home in the last round. Yet to trouble the scoreboard this time around, but 0-0 will suit them going back to Tynecastle, as long as they can keep Birkirkara out. Buaban, Smith. Ozturk to Rossi. They've had so much possession, Hearts. Reras now. At times he has been the most likely to unlock the defence, but Nicholson's done well there. Juanma was lurking 6 yards out this time, and it will be a corner to Hearts. The final minute of normal time, and it's Ozturk and Rossi venturing forward. Nicholson has had an impact. He now looks to supply right-footed from the corner kick, and the goalkeeper got a touch on it. It will be another corner. Koprich was hoping he might get a free kick out of that.
Yeah, he was looking to the referee, and he got a slight barge there. I think it's Rossi that eventually bumps him, and he's looking at the referee. He's looking at the goalkeeper, Koprich. I think the referee on the whole has played this game and refereed it quite well.
Again, delivered in. This time, the header over the top from Callum Patterson, who cuts a frustrated figure.
Again, I think Hearts, when you look at the fact that they were so proficient from set plays in the last round, that'll be disappointing that they've not managed to capitalise on what they has a lot of corners and free kicks that they've had. Because sometimes that can make all the difference. You get a goal from a set play and it changes the dynamics of the game. It opens it up and it allows you to create more chances from open play.
Yeah, had they got the one, could the floodgates have opened up?
Well, I don't know so much that the floodgates would open up because of the way that Birkirkara play, but it certainly gives you a great deal of confidence to get that first goal, especially away from home. But there's no doubt in my mind that if Hearts had managed to get that first goal, say for example from a corner or free kick, that they would have perhaps seen a second goal tonight.
Bruno Marotti, another of the new signings, comes onto the field and replaces Ryan Skichluna. Dimitrov just hammered out of the park. Don't think they'll be getting that one back from Guillaume.
Not be getting it back from the park, but it's at the side of the park.
Juanma's touchdown, Arnaud Joum. That will be a goal kick. The last touch came off the Spaniard. Drazen Besek has waited long enough to make his changes. And now it is a case of just running down the clock in the final 30 seconds as Edison Bilbao, the Chilean player, will come on for Dimitrov. Bilbao, former New York Cosmos player, and more defensive-minded than Dimitrov, but we're over the 3 minutes played. Towards Juanma. Again, it comes off the Hearts striker. Juanma unable to challenge Emerson, but that didn't matter as the number 5 for Birkirkara knocked the ball out for a Hearts throw-in. And will this be one last opportunity as Patterson lines up the long throw? And it comes from Patterson. Cowie gambled on the dropping ball, but it's the home side that are the happier, because they have managed to hold Hearts to a 0-0 draw, and perhaps a missed opportunity for Hearts that they could have killed this tie off here tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that Hearts could have killed this tie off. You see how delighted the Birkirkara support, players, staff. I think one of the guys in the dugout with his arms aloft as if they'd won. To draw the game at home was a bit of a strange one, but yeah, I think that Hearts missed an opportunity here. They could have got the away goal that would have put them in a very, very strong position. I just think that rather than like-for-like substitutions throughout the game, I think Hearts, they missed their trick with not trying to change the formation in some way or getting more bodies into that final third, because, as we've spoken about at length, there was an opportunity there to go and win this game in Malta.
Well, the second leg will be at Tynecastle in a week's time. Will Hearts have much to worry about?
Well, you've always got to be respectful and concentrate that the opposition are going to possibly get an opportunity and score a goal. But I don't think, looking towards the game next week, Hearts are going to be concerned too much about what Birkirkara are going to bring to the game and offer. Very much like the game tonight, even more so, Hearts are going to dominate possession and look to be on the front foot and be the offensive side. You know, when you get back to Tynecastle with a full house, a tight park as well, it's going to make it ever more important to get in the wide areas and stretch the game. You know, I spoke about it a lot tonight, getting in the wide areas. When they did, I think they caused Birkirkara problems. You go back to Tynecastle, everybody knows what a tight stadium and tight ground it is. It makes it ever more important that the wide areas are used to the extreme.
You talk about the tight confines of Tynecastle, and it couldn't be more different to the Hibernian Stadium here. You can see nothing on the far side. You've played in that Tynecastle atmosphere so many times. Does it demand that the team goes forward?
Well, yes, it does. And especially, you know, on a European night like this, they'll want Hearts to go after the Birkirkara team. And when they do that, you know, when Hearts are on the front foot and they're energetic and pressing high up, it can be a very suffocating atmosphere for the opposition, for the visiting team. And I think, you know, Hearts there's not going to be any difference in terms of the game plan and the style from what has been tonight, just more of that. And I think that perhaps, you know, Robbie might look at a tinker to the personnel. You know, maybe not the shape itself to begin with, but I don't expect, or I wouldn't expect, Callum Patterson there, who we see with a header, to play, you know, on the attacking side. I would look and think that Robbie might want to get a few more technicians on the park in the final third.
And it might be something that Birkirkara will not be too used to, is playing at Tynecastle. That was how close Ali Moztürk came to another wonder strike from the Hearts captain.
That was a wonderful strike. You see it here, probably 35 yards out. When it came to him, I think everybody was thinking the same thing, even though it was so far out, was that he was going to strike it, because we've seen on a number of occasions what he possesses, very reminiscent of the goal that he got at Easter Road that time. It hit the underside of the bar and went in. Disappointing and unfortunate for Hearts not to break the deadlock with that one.
Well, and we see as these chances go through, and we may expect something similar next week when the teams meet, but it only takes one moment for Birkirkara to get in behind, and if they can score at Tynecastle, there is a real threat.
Well, of course, you're right, and that's why we say that we think of getting that away goal, and you've got to be respectful and fully concentrated at home, not to gift up an opportunity. But looking at the game, I don't think there's anything to cause any sleepless nights for the Hearts fans, the Hearts management team. You know, that's a game at Tynecastle that they'll be looking at, one that they really should be winning.
Well, and Sam Nicholson managed to make a difference when he came on too.
Yeah, he did. You know, he got into a few areas in behind the full-back on a couple of occasions. I think a lot of that came from the fact that the game had started to stretch and there was more space to be exploited. Disappointing that he didn't get that final ball once he got into those positions, though.
Don't get goals.
Well, we are at the mercy of the Maltese director here, but I think Hearts will probably be happy enough with what they have turned out in a 0-0 draw here away to Birkirkara. And we can maybe just hear a few of the words from the Maltese coach.
Draw without goals, we have, we can say we have 50-50 chance.
As I said, Birkirkara played most of the game behind the ball. However, the result was that Hearts didn't have one clear open chance at goal. The closest they went to scoring was from a shot from 30 meters.
Yeah, we limited these long balls to opponent strike, and that was good. Emerson and Bubalovic play excellent. Also, all backs was good. And we can say good disciplined game, but for 7 days we must
exactly today week
good fight and hard fight.
Today week the away game in Edinburgh in Scotland.
Yeah, that is bonus for us because we can play against renowned opponents. They come from Scotland League, and we learn.
Thank you, coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Drazen Brezic sees it as a 50-50 game when they take it back to Tynecastle. Hearts may see it differently. It's finished here in Malta. Birkirkara 0,